Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Please excuse the background noise, y'all. I'm here at the Greyhound station in Texas right now, heading to Cali. I was sitting here thinking about this dude named Cotton. Now, what this prison story is about, I know y'all seen the thumbnail. I know y'all seen the title. So y'all pretty much know what this is about. But I have to give y'all the backstory to this story for it to make sense, okay? The guy, we're gonna call him Ralph, okay? Ralph been down for 15 years, about 15 years at this point. And he had a son. Now Ralph was a guy that was out there in the streets in Flint, Michigan, thugging, selling drugs, robbing cats. He was just out here thugging, right? Nevertheless, he ended up getting snitched on, and his co-defendant put 2 bodies on him and other things. And well, he ended up getting a life sentence. Now, when he got this life sentence, he had a 2-year-old boy out there. And he never was really in his life anyway for the 2 years that he was, you know, out here in the free world or whatever. He really never paid him no attention. Like I said, he was out here thugging. He was out here hustling or whatever. And he got caught up in the streets just like a lot of cats do. But nevertheless, you know, this boy, which we're going to call Cotton, grew up without a father. Now, Cotton mama, I hate to say it, but she was a dope fiend. And with being a dope fiend, you're not being monitored. With having a dope fiend mother, she'll let any and everybody watch you. In the course of her going on one of her binges or whatever, she would take, you know, Cotton with her or whatever at the dope man spot while she in there getting high. Well, somebody was in there, how can I put this without being graphic? Somebody was mistreating Cotton when he was 3, 4, 5 years old. Okay, so what happened with that is his mind was twisted. He, I guess, suffered a lot of trauma, and that trauma transferred to him believing that he was a girl. Okay, Harvard University studies show that nobody is born gay. It says that 100% of all gay people was sexually traumatized as a minor, and it just turned into that when they grew up, and because they didn't get therapy or counseling. So nevertheless, Cotton gets older, and his mama is just she's in the streets. She's a straight up dope fiend. He ended up getting awarded to the state, right? He ended up getting a foster care, and it just got worse from there. Every foster care house that he went to, he got violated. To the point where they just had nowhere to put him at. They had nowhere to put him at. Before this transgender stuff started coming out or whatever, he started being that, I guess, when he was about 16. You know, he'd put on the wigs, makeup, stuff like that. So eventually they put him in a boys' home, and he said that he got raped in there by, you know, other teenagers, whatever. So he ended up running away. He got on the streets. He started selling his body. You know, he was getting picked up for solicitation and prostitution and stuff like that throughout his whole damn near young adult life. Now he's 25. Now this is where Dante come into play. This is where his father come into play. This is where prison come into play. Now we about to get to the story. But before we get to the story, y'all, make sure y'all click the link to my Patreon. It's pinned at the top of the comment section. There's a lot of stories on my Patreon that I cannot put on YouTube because YouTube just not having it. I done tried to put these stories up. YouTube said it's too graphic, so I can't put them on YouTube, but I got them on Patreon. So make sure y'all click on my Patreon at the top of the comment section. It's free to sign up, okay? Also, my Bible stories are over there. My short films is over there. And my exclusive prison stories is over there. So make sure y'all go over there and check it out. All right. But let's get back to this story. So I'm in a cell, right? And I'm here by myself. I've been down about a year and I'm gonna say about a year and 8 months. Okay, so I know my way around prison. I know the do's. I know the don'ts. I'm pretty, I'm comfortable in prison now, right? This was before I started running my business. And for those that might be new to the channel and don't know what Donta business was, I was running a protection business. If you was a weaker inmate and couldn't handle your own, you would come to me, pay me, and me and my crew will protect you. Okay? And that pretty much sums up my business. Okay? So anyway, I'm in the cell, and it had to have been around midnight when the guards come to my door, right? And they crack the door open. So I instantly hop up because I don't know what's about to go down. And they like, yo, chill. The guard like, yo, chill, Donta. You finna get a roommate. So I'm like, okay, what's up? So they open the door. And they told me to go to the back of the cell. Now, protocol dictates that when you about to get somebody to come in your cell, you got to handcuff, you got to get cuffed up and go to the back of the cell, right? But, I had a little clout in there. I had just a little bit of taste of respect and power from the guards, whatever. So they weren't tripping on me. So I just got up and I went to the back of the cell without getting cuffed, right? And then they brought this dude in, right? When he walked in, I knew something was off. I knew something wasn't right about dude, okay? Because when he came in, he just looked at like he was too timid. You know what I'm saying? So I turned around, I'm like, yo, what's up? And they like, listen, we putting him in here because we know ain't nobody gonna do nothing to him. He done had a hard time. Matter of fact, here, step out, right? So I walked past the dude, and the dude got his head down, right? It was this black dude, right? This is Cotton, y'all. So I walked past him, the guard told me like, hey, listen, man, this dude is, he's been raped 5 times since he been in here by multiple dudes. And, it's dudes in here that really want to hurt him bad. And we figured if we put him in your cell, ain't nobody gonna mess with him. I said, what is he in here for? Oh, he bodied somebody. I said, who did he body? It was like, it don't matter. It's some John, some trick or whatever. I said, what you mean, some trick? It was like, I guess dude was prostituting or whatever in the streets, and I said, okay. So I said, all right. So I go back in there, and they close the door. Now, he haven't looked up at me not one time. I said, well, what's your name, man? He was like, Cotton. I said, what you say? He was like, my name. I said, speak up, man. I can't hear you. He said, my name Cotton. I said, where you from, man? He was like, I'm from Flint. I said, you from Flint, Michigan? He was like, yeah. I said, oh, what side of town? He was like, I've been all around. I said, oh, okay. I said, what you do to get in here, man? He was like, man, I don't really want to talk about it. I said, no, you're going to tell me what you in here for, because I need to know who I'm in here with. So he was like, can I, get my bed first? Can I get settled in? I said, no, because I need to know why you was in here, because this might not work. He was like, okay, I killed somebody, man. Somebody. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, I mean, like, what happened? He was like, all right, man, forget it. All right, look, I'm gay. I said, what? He was like, yeah, I'm gay, man. When I was out there on the streets, I was, prostituting, and some guy, one of my normal customers, he didn't want to pay me or whatever, and things got out of hand, and I took his gun. He tried to shoot me, but I ended up shooting him, and he was a white guy, so you know what that looked like. I said, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that. So he was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. I said, okay. I said, but why they moving you? Because I know what the guards told me. They told me, like, dude keep getting violated in here, whatever, but I want to hear out of his mouth. So I'm like, so what you doing? Why they put you in my cell? He was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I can't defend myself. I can't defend myself in here, man. I don't supposed to be in here, man. I've been trying to put a request in for me to go to a woman's prison. I said, listen, man, you ain't going nowhere, man. They ain't finna let you go to no woman. This ain't California, man. This ain't no Cali, man. They ain't going for that, man. I said, you better figure it out. He was like, man, I don't even care no more. I don't care about, I don't care. I said, listen, this prison, man, and you gotta do what you gotta do. He was like, yeah, I know, but I don't even care no more. I'm about to go to sleep, right? So he hop up on this bunk, and I hear him up there snoring. So, but he ain't snoring loud to disturb me. I'm like, okay, maybe dude just had I guess you can say he done had a rough day. I don't know what happened to him earlier. So I end up laying down, and I'm thinking about going to sleep, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, I ain't about to go. I don't know this dude. This dude might be real messed up in the head. This dude might bug out and try to take my life. Whatever these dudes did to him, he might try to take it out on me. So I'm like, nah, I'm not about to go to sleep. So I'm laying there and I'm taking power naps, cat naps. You know what I'm talking about? So now it's count time. It's 7:00 in the morning. So it's about 6:55. I hop out the bed or whatever. I hurry up and brush my teeth. And I tell him, like, hey, it's time to wake up, man. We got count in a couple minutes. So he like, all right. So we hop out the bed. They crack the doors. We both come out there. Everybody out there, right? And the guard coming through, and he doing count. So after they, mark you down, you can go back in there, whatever. So at the count, he get back in the bed, right? And I leave out. I'm about to go to the bathroom. So as I'm heading to the bathroom, this dude named Ride Dog pull up on me. This blood dude out of Detroit. And he like, hey, that dude in your cell, man, what's his name? I said, I think his name Cotton or some shit. He was like, Cotton? I said, yeah. He was like, oh, okay. Oh, that's that one dude. That's the one gay dude or whatever. I said, yeah. He told me his whole story, whatever. He was like, did he tell you what happened to him? Like just now, what happened to him? I said, what you mean? He was like, man, what did he tell you? I said, hold on, man. Let me go ahead and take a piss right quick, man. Just give me a minute, right? So I go in the bathroom. I go in there, go take a piss, wash my hands, come back out. I'm like, what's up, man? He was like, he ain't tell you, like, what happened, why they moved him? I was like, no, I didn't. No, why? He was like, man, everybody talking about that shit, man. Everybody talking. Well, he said, everybody talking about that blood. Everybody around here talking about that blood. You ain't hear about what happened? I said, man, what happened, man? What happened? He was like, man, listen, blood. His pops had sex with him. I said, what? He was like, yeah, his pops. I said, wait. You telling me that his daddy was the guy that he killed out in the streets? He said, no. His daddy is in here. His daddy fucked him yesterday. That's why he got. I said, how do you know that was his daddy? He was like, dude, man, hey, man, listen, let me tell you. Now, listen, y'all. I know people say, you know, in prison, dudes is supposed to be non-gossiping. And, man, let me tell you something. Prison ain't nothing but a gossiping hotline. Okay, dudes in prison gossip more than females. Okay, they run their mouth worse than females. Okay, you think, man, listen, I don't care how big a dude is. I don't care how tough a dude is. I don't care how many bodies he got. I don't care how many people he done knocked out. Dudes never mind their business. Dudes always up in other people's business. And if you think that you're going to tell somebody a secret in prison, you might as well just go out on the tier and just scream it to everybody. Because that one guy going to tell somebody that he think he can trust and tell him like, hey, don't say nothing, but listen. Tell your business. Then he gonna tell another guy like, hey, don't tell nobody, but listen, I heard. And about time, by the end of the day, people looking at you sideways because they done found out what you did. And the whole time you done told one person that you thought that you can that he could keep a secret. And no, it ain't like that at all, right? So if you gonna do something in prison, you better be solo dolo with it, all right? And that's another reason why dudes be locked up, because niggas can't keep shit to themselves. They got to tell somebody. That's why dudes be getting locked up and they be wondering, man, he snitched on me. He told. No, nigga, you told on yourself. Running your mouth, pillow talking, they can't stop running your mouth. So that don't change in prison. So anyway, back to the story, y'all. And if y'all haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. But anyway, He like, look, dude, I just seen him at count, but he normally don't look like that. He usually have a mop, the mop rag on his head, and it'd be like pink, red, and shit like that. I said, what? He was like, yeah, dude, it's like a full-blown gay guy. Like, he like a full-grown sissy up in here. I said, well, shit, he ain't come in my cell like that. Nor will he be conducting himself like that in my cell. He was like, yeah, I know. I said, oh, wait, so what happened? He was like, well, dude named, they call him Cotton. I don't know the nigga real name, but they call him Cotton. But he was just over there in cell block C. And I guess dude didn't know that was his son. And he just pulled up on him and basically told him like, hey, you with me now, right? And I guess they was, doing what motherfuckers do, that indulge in that lifestyle. I said, okay. I said, so how did he find out that was his son? He was like, I guess my man was like reading letters and stuff, that, Cotton was reading letters and stuff. And I guess they was kicking it on the yard or whatever. And, they was talking and he brought up his mama. And when he found, I guess they put two and two together, then shit, I mean, the deed was done already. You can't take that back. I said, what? I was like, oh, so that's what that was on? What? Yeah. I said, oh, see, y'all, yesterday around like 1 o'clock, I was in the law library, right? And they end up locking down the prison. I didn't really know what it was really about. Okay. And because sometimes you never know. But I guess it was, I don't know how I missed that though, but I guess word got around, the dad. Here's the thing of what I got out of this whole thing while the daddy, started tripping on him. It wasn't because this was his son. It was because, I don't know, y'all. Basically, and you don't know what story to believe, but they said he was really tripping on him because he was gay, right? I don't know, it's weird, man. I heard all type of stories. He was mad because it was his son. He was mad. The main story that I was hearing, that he was mad because he thought that he knew that this was his, that he knew. The dad was mad because he believed Cotton knew who he was and didn't tell him, like, hey, I'm your son. That's the main story that, people was going around saying, right? And he ended up, whooping him out on the yard or whatever, bad or whatever. And that's why he ended up getting put in the cell with me. It's weird. It's a weird ass story, right? So I'm like, all right, so that's the story. You're like, yeah, man, that's him. That's the dude Cotton. So I'm like, you know what? I'm finna go up here and holler at him. And he was like, all right. So I bounce off and I go in the cell. And he's sitting up there reading a book, right? In fact, matter of fact, y'all, the book he was reading was called Three Warriors. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have the link to that book that he was reading pinned at the top of the comment section, so y'all can check that out. It'll be right under the Patreon, okay? So I bounce up in the cell. I'm like, hey man, what happened yesterday? Because I'm hearing, bits and pieces, like, what happened? He was like, what you mean? I said, man, come on, man, stop playing, man. Did you have sex with your daddy or what? And he was like, man, it wasn't like that, man. It wasn't like that. And no, I didn't know that was my pops. I said, so y'all did? He was like, I mean, he pulled up on me and said he wanted to take care of me. So I was tired of getting beat up and violated up here. He didn't say violated. He said the R word. So I just rolled with it. And I said, hey, listen, man, why did they put you in my cell? It was like, I don't know. They said that, ain't nobody gonna mess with me if they put you in my cell. It was that or go to the hole. I said, look, I'm about to go to the control booth because I need you out of this cell. He was like, for what? I didn't do anything to you. I said, I know you ain't do nothing to me, but I can't have, man, no, you can't be in the cell with me. He was like, what? I mean, I'm not attracted to you. I don't want nothing from you. I said, listen, this ain't gonna work. This right here, this ain't gonna work, man. This ain't gonna work. He was like, all right, well, I mean, but I'm not going to the hole, so you can go. I said, listen, I've been in this cell, right? I'm not going nowhere. And I said, matter of fact, I'm not even about to argue with you, man. Get your shit and pack, and you gotta go. No, I know. For you sensitive people out there, y'all like, yo, Dante, why you putting the homie out the cell? First of all, he ain't the homie. Second of all, I know what y'all thinking. Y'all thinking like, oh, Dante, you homophobic. That's why. No, I'm not. No, it ain't that neither. What that look like? Okay, what do that look like? You got the blade pusher. Okay, I'm building my reputation in prison enough that the guards know if they put somebody in my cell, 9 times out of 10, nothing ain't gonna happen because I was a feared inmate. But what do that look like of me being the blade pusher, me being probably one of the most dangerous and most feared inmate in that prison, that I'm in here shacked up with a sissy? Come on, man. Come on. So like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with, me being homophobic or anything. It got everything to do with, I'm just not gelling like that. I'm not rocking that way, man. That's out. I need to be in a cell with somebody that's compatible with me, right? And that right there, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. So he gets up with a whole attitude. Now this is why I say I don't trust people like that, Because when he first came in, he was all timid. You know what I'm talking about? He was all shy, looking to the ground. But now this dude is just full of attitude. You know what I'm talking about? Like full blown attitude. Y'all know the type. Y'all know the type. Like the Gay Nelson type. That type. You know, loud, sashaying. There's always trying to be seen and heard. Yeah. Now he turned into that. Well, all right then, I'm gone then. I'm gone. Let me get my shit and go. When he did that, y'all, this was like the second time that I had to practice self-control. Self-control, y'all. Because I found myself opening both of my hands and imagining putting my hands around dude's neck. But nevertheless, I just let him say what he said, that he left out the cell, right? So I stand on the tier, and I'm watching him go down there, and he go to the control booth, banging on the door. They come out. What's going on? He don't want me in this cell. He don't want me in this cell, and I'm not going back in there, and I'm not going to the hole. This is what he's saying to the guards. I don't know exactly what the guard said to him or what he said back to him, because at that point, I done turned my back or whatever, went back to my cell. And I heard the main door open, and I guess he left out or whatever, right? I'm going to stop the story right there because I'm getting mad. I'm getting upset now because when I think back to that day, because something happened, I should have put my hands on him because it cost me something later on, actually about 2 months. But y'all got to stay tuned for that story. Matter of fact, I'm putting that story on the Patreon. All right. So if y'all want to hear that story, y'all got to go to the Patreon and listen to that one, because YouTube is not going to let me put that video on here. Okay. And listen, y'all, I seen a couple cats in the comment section talking about, I'm not finna pay to watch no videos. That's okay. You may not pay to watch it, but others will. Okay. And all the videos over there don't cost, right? You don't got $5, $5. So you mean to tell me, you telling me you don't want to spend $5 funky for a $5 membership for the month to watch Dante exclusive videos that he can't put on here? Is that what so you just want me to work for free? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what you telling me? So you want Dante to work for free? Got you. But nevertheless, hey, shout out to everybody that subscribed to this channel. Shout out to all of y'all. Right? Without y'all, there would be no me. Now, let me give y'all a very important announcement right quick, okay? I got my gaming channel back up and running, okay? So I'm going to have my gaming channel pinned at the top of the comment section too, okay? I got the PS5. The only games that I'm playing as of this moment is Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite. I'm not interested in no other games. I'm not playing no other games. It's just Call of Duty, Warzone, and Fortnite. All right. If you want to play with me, pause, double pause. If you want to play with me, no, that sounds crazy, right? Play with me. If you want to play with me, just subscribe to that channel. I think we got like 50,000 subscribers over there already. But subscribe to the channel, and under any video that's on there right now, just add me. I'm gonna, when this video drop, just go click on that link, right? Click on the link to my gaming channel, and just I'm gonna have my gamer tag name under every video, okay? So that way y'all can just add me on the PS5 if you play Warzone or Fortnite. All right. On that channel, what I do go live on that channel every day. You can see my face when I play the game. But what I do is, after the live video, I take the footage of me playing the game and I put a prison story on top of it, and I mute the gameplay so you can watch me play while you listen to a prison story. Ain't that cool? Ain't that unique? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, y'all go subscribe to the Patreon. I'm gonna have that link pinned at the top of the comment section. The stories over there I cannot put on YouTube because YouTube would not let me put that on a platform. Also, for those that want to see my short films, right now I'm doing short horror films. I got that over there too. Okay, I got a lot of content over there that y'all don't know about. But yeah, go over there and go check it out, man. It's pretty dope. With that, y'all, this is your big partner, Dante. Also, listen, y'all, starting March 1st, y'all, I'm going to start showing my face. I'm taking this storytelling to a whole nother level. So March 1st, I'll be showing my face from here on out. All right? With that, y'all, this is your big partner, Dante. Always ask Jesus to forgive you for your sins before you go to bed. And with that, I'm out. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hype the video, and share the video. To watch my exclusive videos, you must become a member. I'm going to have the members link pinned at the top of the comment section. Have you sent your weekly donation to support the Donta Show Network? If not, that's okay. I got you. We are now accepting Cash App, Zelle, and PayPal. All gifts and donations are highly appreciated. If you are trying to reach me for business opportunities, I'm going to have my contact information pinned at the top of the comment section. Also, get in contact with me if you need your business, your book, your social media channel, a product, your brick and mortar, whatever it is that you need promoted, get in contact with me. My contact information will be pinned at the top of the comment section and in the description. Until next time, take care.